Hi everybody, welcome to my channel or welcome back. My name is Katie. I am 48 years old and I'm telling the story of my obesity journey. One thing I want to talk about today is things that I wish I could go back and tell myself before I started my GLP-1 weight loss journey. So before I started Zepbound this year in 2025, I was trying for 2 years to lose weight naturally. I had lost weight multiple times in the past, over 10 or 15 times that I had lost up to 100 pounds on my own naturally over the years through all different various diets that I had tried. But fast forward to 2023, I was weighing the heaviest that I had ever weighed, and I kept trying to lose weight. And I would lose 20 pounds here and then gain it straight back. I actually lost up to 50 pounds and then I gained it all back. And I did that a few times all throughout 2023 and 2024. And I just couldn't seem to get any further than that. I had become aware of GLP-1 medications maybe about a year and a half ago, sometime in 2024, I think, is when I first began to see celebrities losing weight, and we started to hear some kind of stories, and we see people having really good weight loss success, and there were kind of whispers, and then Oprah kind of started talking about stuff. So I became aware of them, but I thought that they were cheating. I thought they were dangerous. Of course, I have thoughts in my mind from back in the day with fen-phen and stuff like that killed people, and other weight loss things that I had tried in the past. I think I tried something called Ally, I think is what it was called. I tried fat burners. I tried things that never worked. So, I was skeptical of it, but also kind of afraid of it, the GLP-1s, because I was hearing stories of, people being hospitalized from it and paralyzed digestive tracts and pancreatitis and all these, things. So it sounded kind of terrifying. So I was scared. And I kept telling myself that I need to do this on my own, all of those lies, that they tell, and all those things that we see so much about GLP-1s. I need to do this on my own. This is something that I need to do on my own. I have to do it. Maybe if I can't do it on my own, then a GLP-1 would be my absolute last resort. That was my attitude towards it. And I feel like I wasted so much time because of that. I could be in maintenance by now instead of still on my journey. I could be in maintenance, living my best life. And I could have saved myself so much difficulty and pain, because it really was torture, trying and trying and failing and failing and trying so hard for 2 years. It was horrible. It was like some of the worst 2 years of my entire life. So number one, I would go back and tell myself that GLP-1s are not magic. They aren't cheating. You're still going to have to change your life. You're still going to have to do the work. You're still going to have to eat healthier, and you are still going to have to move more, and you're going to have to change, your relationship with food. However, it's just actually going to work and it won't be torture while you're doing it. So I had this idea that it was some kind of magic or cheating, and it was going to be so easy. It was like cheating, and that's just, and the fat would just magically melt away and melt fat off your body, and that is absolutely not the case at all. Most people that I see on this medication are still tracking their food, changing what they're eating, exercising more, getting their water, getting their steps in, and they're still doing everything, and they're losing weight at about the same rate of weight loss that most people do on any diet plan, and that's maybe 1 to 2 pounds a week if you're lucky. So it's not magic. Don't expect that. Number two, the bad side effects that get huge headlines are very rare. I've heard the statistic that it's about 1% of all of the people who take these medications. 1% have serious side effects. And most of the side effects are because the person was on too high of a dose. So they were losing weight way too rapidly. They weren't able to eat anything or keep anything down, and they were just losing weight too fast. So those things are easily fixable if you are working with a healthcare provider and you're telling them of your side effects. If you're not able to eat anything, you can even do partial doses. A lot of people are microdosing now, so you don't even need to take a full dose. You can take a very small portion of a dose until you don't have those really negative side effects, and then you probably will avoid any serious side effects whatsoever. So the side effects that are severe and extreme are very, very rare. 99% of people are not having those side effects. Number 3, you don't get a medal or a prize for losing weight naturally. Struggling and suffering don't make weight loss any more worthy or legitimate. Period. You can suffer and struggle all you want to. If that's how you want to play it, good for you, but you don't get a medal at the end of the day. You don't get a prize. Your weight loss is no more real than somebody else who uses a medication. Number 4, yes, I might need to take this medicine for the rest of my life. That is absolutely possible. But I think that even if that's the case, that is better than yo-yo dieting for the rest of my life. Is it better for me to lose the weight and then gain it back and then lose the weight and then gain it back over and over again until I die? Diet and exercise alone have never cured my obesity, and they never will. So yes, I may have to take this medication for the rest of my life, but then at least I can stay thin, I can stay on top of my food, I never will be out of control with food ever again. So it's okay to let go of that narrative that yes, you might need help for the rest of your life, and that's okay. Sometimes people need medical help for the rest of their life for the condition that they have, and there's nothing wrong with that. And finally, number 5, the biggest one that I would love to tell myself back before I started GLP-1s is that my obesity is not my fault. I have placed the blame on myself, as has society, for the last 48 years, that it's just a matter of me and my willpower and what's wrong with me and why can't I just stop eating and why can't I get this under control. I've been putting so much shame and so much blame and so much hatred and self-loathing. And I understand now, after having taken these medications, and I can see how life is for other people who don't have obesity and how their brains work and how their bodies work just naturally, that I know now that it isn't my fault. When all of these things and these hormones in my body are corrected and they're working properly, I don't have food obsessions anymore. I don't have a desire to overeat anymore. I don't even have a desire to drink anymore. My whole perspective on food and eating has turned upside down overnight because I finally have the hormones in my body and the brain centers are working the way that they're supposed to for the first time in my life. And now I have the clarity to see that the obesity wasn't my fault. It wasn't my willpower. It wasn't something that I was doing wrong or had control over. These are biological problems. These are biological things and hormonal things going on in my body that were creating this obesity. And you can let go of that narrative now. You can understand that obesity isn't your fault anymore. What are you waiting for? Stop waiting. Stop listening to the lies. Stop listening to the fear-mongering. Stop thinking that you have to do it naturally or else you won't be worthy. Let go. Let go of that narrative. Let go of that misinformation, those lies. Those things are holding you back. Take the damn GLP-1 medication and watch your life transform.